Did they really die, or just change their identities? Some celebrities who were announced dead years ago are claimed to still be alive today, living among us under completely new identities. So, who are they now? What appearances or disguises do they live under? Elvis, Tupac, Michael Jackson, Kurt Cobain. The same question is asked about all of them. Did they die, or did they just disappear? Are these just conspiracy theories, or covered-up truths? In this video, we objectively dive deep into identity-switching claims about some of the most talked-about celebrities in history, while also adding our own commentary. Are these similarities truly coincidences, or is something hiding in plain sight? If you're curious about the answer, make sure to watch the video until the end, because some secrets are only visible to those who look closely. First of all, it's important to clarify that everything discussed in this video is based on theories put forward by people. These are not my personal opinions, and no accusations are being made against anyone mentioned in this video. Yes, welcome to our YouTube channel where we often explore celebrity death hoaxes and identity theories. One of the greatest legends in basketball history is undoubtedly Kobe Bryant. January 26, 2020, a date that shook the world of sports. Kobe Bryant, along with his 13-year-old daughter Gianna and 7 others, tragically lost their lives in a helicopter crash near Calabasas, California. The world was in shock. Millions of fans were devastated and brought to tears. But what if the story didn't end there? What if Kobe's death wasn't what it seemed, but rather a carefully staged event? Some sources claim that Kobe's death was either part of a ritual or completely fake, and that he reappeared under the identity of Myles Garrett. To some, this may sound like a joke. To others, it's the absolute truth. So, where did this theory come from? Did Kobe really fake his death and swap the basketball court for the football field? I'd love to present a more in-depth video with detailed research on this topic. If this video receives enough likes, I'll release a full investigation tomorrow. Also, if you want a detailed video about this, don't forget to mention it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated and be notified when the next video drops. Jim Morrison, Rush Limbaugh. Some people believe Morrison is alive and well, living in Oregon. Some even believe he returned as American radio host Rush Limbaugh. Limbaugh was born in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. He began his radio career at a young age and launched the Rush Limbaugh Show in 1984. He was also awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Donald Trump in 2020. So, why do people think he could be Jim? Some theorists point to the striking physical similarities between Jim Morrison and Rush Limbaugh. Particularly, their facial features and body structure are used to support this claim. They also note similarities in voice tone and speaking style between the two men. These claims are not based on any concrete evidence and rely solely on superficial observations like physical resemblance. When examining the life stories, careers, and birth dates of both individuals, it becomes clear that these theories lack foundation. When it comes to the world of conspiracies, anything is possible. But as I've said many times before, resemblance alone is not proof. In conclusion, even if Limbaugh were Jim, he passed away at his home in Palm Beach, Florida, on February 17, 2021, at the age of 70. Who knows? Maybe Jim continued his life under yet another identity. I'd give this theory a 10% rating. What do you think? And how would you rate it? John Lennon, Mark Staycer. Some believe that John Lennon continued living as Mark Staycer. Mark Staycer was an American actor and musician, known especially for his strong resemblance to John Lennon. Born on January 16, 1955, in Detroit, Michigan, Staycer gained attention throughout his career for performances impersonating Lennon. He portrayed a Lennon-like character in the 2009 film Let Him Be. The performance and the uncanny resemblance between the character and Lennon led some viewers to speculate. Staycer's striking physical likeness to Lennon and the similarity of his voice form the foundation of this theory. His singing style and stage presence when performing Lennon's songs only reinforced this resemblance. Some theorists highlight the character name Noel Snow from the film, claiming it contains the letters Lennon, a combination of Lennon and Yoko Ono's names. This is interpreted as a subtle clue suggesting Lennon continued living under a hidden identity. Additionally, Staycer was said to possess memorabilia believed to belong to Lennon, and reportedly told stories only Lennon himself would know, details that caught the attention of some fans. Whether the theory is true or not, it's undeniable that Staycer carried Lennon's legacy with great impact. Staycer passed away on December 30th, 2023, at the age of 68. I'd rate this theory at 40%. What do you think, and what score would you give it? Princess Diana, Ondine, Rothschild. Some people believe that Diana continued her life as Ondine de Rothschild. Ondine de Rothschild is a member of the well-known Rothschild family and is recognized for her presence at social events. Her mother is Ariane Dandois, a famous antique dealer based in Paris. Ondine is known for attending art and cultural events with her mother. For example, in 2012, the two attended the opening of the new Thaddeus Ropac Gallery in Pantin, Paris. Available information about Ondine de Rothschild is limited and mostly consists of the events she has attended. The fact that Ondine de Rothschild rarely appears in the media and keeps her private life hidden has been found noteworthy by some. Supporters of the theory highlight physical similarities between Princess Diana and Ondine de Rothschild, particularly in their facial features and posture. Theorists also note that Ondine's participation in high-profile social events and her noble background resemble Diana's previous lifestyle. If you ask for my opinion, it's theoretically possible that such an identity change could have been secretly arranged with the financial power and connections of the Rothschild family after Diana's death. However, apart from physical resemblance, this theory has many illogical aspects. The most obvious inconsistency is undoubtedly the age difference. There is an age gap of about 18 years between Diana and Ondine. One might argue that a wealthy and well-maintained person wouldn't show this difference much, but when you trace the matter back to the beginning, the situation becomes impossible. Princess Diana was born on July 1st, 1961, and was 36 years old when she died in 1997. Ondine, on the other hand, was born around 1979, which would make her 28 years old, 18 years old in 1997. If Ondine were actually Diana, this age gap, an 18-year-old girl taking the place of a 36-year-old woman, would create a very clear inconsistency both physically and socially. Diana's well-known face and voice could not have been hidden behind such a young identity. I believe Diana was killed. I give a 20% chance to the possibility that she may have survived, but the theory that she is Ondine gets a 0% rating from me. What do you think about this theory, and what score would you give it? Kurt Cobain, Daniel Aebi. Some fans claim that Kurt could now be Daniel. But who is Daniel? According to information available online, Daniel Buxi Aebi is a musician born on November 11, 1973 in Bern, Switzerland. He began playing music at the age of 10 with the trombone and transitioned to drums at 15. In 1994, he studied at Berklee College of Music in Boston and later attended the Swiss Jazz School between 1995 and 2000, where he studied under Billy Brooks. In 1993, Aebi co-founded the funk band Grandmother's Funk, performing extensively across Central Europe, France, and the UK. He also played drums for the Swiss Jazz School Big Band under the leadership of Bert Joris, performing at prestigious venues like Montreux Jazz Festival, Cully Jazz Festival, and Birdland in New York. Between 2000 and 2012, he played in various groups led by Joe Hader and collaborated with names such as George Gruntz, Sandy Patton, Andy Scherer, and George Robert. In 2013, Aebi moved to Vienna and joined the Austrian jazz scene, leading groups like Buxi's Box, The Message, and Boogaloo Buxi, while working with musicians such as Elias Mary, Daniel Nozig, Christian Havel, and Fabian Rucker. In 2000, He won second place in the solo category and first place with the Daniel Woodley Sextet at the Chrysler Jazz Winners Competition in Montreux. He has also taken active roles in organizations like Swiss Perform and Action Swiss Music. The theory gained traction when rapper Akil the MC appeared in the same video as Daniel. As you may know, many Tupac fans believe Akil is Tupac. We've made a few videos on this topic as well. Those who believe Akil is Tupac started theorizing that Daniel might be Kurt when they saw him alongside Akil and noticed the resemblance. This led them to imagine that the two legends might now be living as friends. Some fans have pointed out that Daniel Aebi's facial features resemble Kurt Cobain's. These physical similarities form the cornerstone of this theory. Aebi's musical skills, particularly his rhythmic sensitivity, are said to bear resemblance to Nirvana's musical aesthetic. Believers in the theory argue that Cobain couldn't stay away from music and has continued creating under the identity of Aebi. The fact that Aebi became active in the music world after Cobain's death strikes some fans as an interesting coincidence. These chronological alignments serve as compelling evidence for those who support the theory. Additionally, some claim that Aebi's musical projects reflect the melancholic and profound spirit of Cobain. Of course, these are the positive aspects of the theory. On the negative side, Aebi's music style is vastly different from the grunge genre Cobain pioneered with Nirvana. This stark contrast weakens the theory that one person could embody two different musical identities. Furthermore, Aebi's biography is consistent and well documented, rather than being a story that emerged after Cobain's death. It's known that Aebi was born and raised in Switzerland and received his musical education there. If you ask for my opinion, I do think the facial resemblance is notable, and seeing him alongside Akil also struck me as curious. However, this theory, unfortunately, relies on physical similarities and coincidences rather than solid evidence. We don't have enough concrete proof to conclude that Daniel is Kurt. A physical resemblance alone is not sufficient evidence to claim that one person is living under another identity. Among billions of people worldwide, it's entirely normal for physical resemblances to occur naturally. Such similarities can be purely coincidental, and making definitive claims without scientific or concrete evidence can be misleading. Yes, I'm one of those who believe that a few celebrities faked their deaths and are still alive. But in those cases, we have numerous reasons and concrete information to support such beliefs. However, even though I don't have much information about Kurt, I don't think he is among those who faked their deaths. That said, I still respect those who believe in this theory.
Welcome to Books' Drum Clinic. This is my first instructional video, especially designed for quarantine at home. Watch and learn. Step 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Easy, right?
Yeah, well, I've read Perfume by Patrick Susskind about 10 times in my life.
For quarantine at home. Watch and learn.
I can't stop reading it. It's like something that's just stationary in my pocket all the time. It just doesn't leave me, and every time I'm bored, like I'm on an airplane or something, I read it over and over again.
Therefore, I don't believe in this theory. So what do you think? Could Daniel actually be Kurt Cobain? Let's meet in the comments. Osama, Obama. It is claimed that Barack Obama and Osama bin Laden are the same person or somehow work together. The phonetic similarity between their names is highlighted, Osama and Obama. During Obama's presidency, the announcement of bin Laden's death was interpreted by some theorists as an attempt to divert attention elsewhere.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
It is also claimed that the two share similar facial features. This theory falls entirely under the category of conspiracy theories and has no basis in evidence. Barack Obama's birth certificate and personal history are publicly available. Additionally, Osama bin Laden's death in a U.S. operation has been confirmed by numerous independent sources. However, many people still do not believe that bin Laden is actually dead. The U.S. government's decision not to release photos of bin Laden's body is cited by some as evidence that his death was not real. JonBenét Ramsey, Katy Perry. It is claimed that JonBenét Ramsey, the little beauty pageant star who tragically died at the age of 6 in 1996, never actually passed away and grew up to become Katy Perry. Supporters of this theory point to the striking resemblance between JonBenét Ramsey's childhood photos and Katy Perry's facial features. They also argue that Katy Perry's songs contain cryptic messages about JonBenét's disappearance. Katy Perry's music career began years after JonBenét's death, which some theorists interpret as part of a carefully crafted plan to establish a new identity. In short, the theory suggests that JonBenét Ramsey's death was faked so she could re-emerge under a new identity and become famous as Katy Perry. This theory has been propagated through various YouTube videos, blog posts, and social media discussions. The main argument is that JonBenét Ramsey faked her death to become famous under a new identity, Katy Perry. However, JonBenét was already a widely recognized child at a young age and was constantly followed by the media. If she had survived, this recognition could have made it easier for her to pursue a music career later on. Conspiracy theorists counter this by arguing that JonBenét Ramsey, as a 6-year-old, was already known for beauty pageants. However, this type of fame doesn't necessarily translate into advantages in the music industry. A music career, especially in pop music, requires a different set of skills and a unique marketing strategy. Continuing under JonBenét's name might have limited her to her child star image and made it harder to build a serious music career. In other words, they claim that JonBenét's fame could have hindered her ability to succeed as a singer. Faking a death and creating a new identity just to achieve fame seems like an unnecessary and overly complex approach when there are simpler ways to become famous. Katy Perry's career is well documented from her early years. Her family, biography, and childhood photos are also publicly available. However, conspiracy theorists argue that a powerful system could fabricate fake photos, so these cannot be considered definitive evidence. Personally, I think this theory seems to have been created either as a way to explain Katy Perry's rising music career or simply for entertainment. The striking physical resemblance between JonBenét and Katy Perry is the main reason this theory emerged. People tend to make exaggerated connections when they see similar facial features. Katy Perry addressed the conspiracy theory claiming she was JonBenét Ramsey. During the 2017 MTV Video Music Awards, Billy Eichner jokingly asked her, "If you're really JonBenét Ramsey, blink twice." Katy laughed and replied, "Wait, no, that's not true."
Me too. Blink twice if you're really JonBenét Ramsey.
Wait, no, that is not real.
In my opinion, this theory lacks any logical basis aside from the physical resemblance. However, I still respect those who believe in it. Jimi Hendrix, Morgan Freeman. Theories that Jimi Hendrix is still alive are fueled by his young and sudden death. Although he was reported to have passed away in a London hotel room in 1970, some fans interpret this as a fake death. According to the theories, Hendrix may have wanted to escape the pressures of fame and lead a private life. Supporters of these theories frequently mention contradictory statements and certain ambiguities in the autopsy report. An interesting theory about Hendrix is the idea that he is actually Morgan Freeman. This theory was sparked by the resemblance between Freeman's facial features and Hendrix's as Freeman aged. Supporters argue that Hendrix withdrew from the music world under a fake death to live under a new identity. However, numerous factors, like the inconsistencies in their birth dates and life stories, debunk this theory, relegating it to the realm of an entertaining conspiracy theory. Bruce Lee, Gene Ho. That Bruce Lee is alive emerged from his sudden and young death, alongside the inevitable conspiracies that arose around one of Hollywood's biggest action stars. Although he was reported to have died of cerebral edema in 1973, some fans believe he is not truly gone. According to these theories, Lee may have staged his death to withdraw from the martial arts world and retreat into a private life. Those who support this theory suggest that Lee may have encountered issues with the Chinese mafia or the film industry and took this route to ensure his safety. If you ask for my opinion, I lean toward the theory that Lee was killed by the mafia. But some people believe Bruce Lee is still alive, and recently I came across quite an interesting claim. Many believe that Gene Ho, an internationally recognized photographer, might actually be Bruce Lee. According to information available online, Gene Ho is an internationally known photographer, writer, and editor. He was born in Brooklyn and raised in Kings Park, New York. He also served as Donald Trump's personal campaign photographer during the 2016 presidential campaign. Some people on the internet have shared videos showing Gene Ho using nunchaku very well and claim that he might be Bruce Lee. Many comments on his Instagram also suggest that he is Bruce Lee. If you ask me, this claim is ridiculous and baseless. The strongest evidence against it is Bruce Lee's age. Bruce was born in 1940. If he were still alive today, he would be around 85 years old. But Gene clearly appears to be in his 50s. Unless there's some hidden technology that can make a person look 30 years younger, my rating for this theory is 1%. Aside from the nunchaku use, there appears to be no other evidence. It seems that people just wanted to create this theory because they saw Gene Ho alongside Bob Joyce. Who is Bob Joyce, you ask? He's the man believed by some to be Elvis Presley. So does that mean Elvis and Bruce are friends now? Oh no, I don't think so at all. Elvis, Bob Joyce. There are many analyses online regarding Bob's resemblance to Elvis. But what makes the theory seem most convincing is Bob's voice, which sounds remarkably similar to Elvis's. While there are some logical aspects to the theory, once you start digging deeper, you'll find that there are also many inconsistencies. The most important one, of course, is the age issue. Bob has publicly stated that he was born in 1952. Elvis, on the other hand, was born in 1935. That's a 17-year age difference. Of course, Bob's official statement doesn't necessarily prove anything, but if Elvis were alive today, he would be 90 years old, and Bob certainly doesn't look like a 90-year-old man. So, what do you think? If Elvis had lived, could he really look as young as Bob does today? What are your thoughts on this? I used to believe in this theory much more in the past, but after discovering that it has just as many illogical sides as it does convincing ones, I now rate this theory around 50%. Tupac, Akil the MC.
I will come back in a new body are common. A new life in a new body. Could Tupac really have built a new life? Finally, let's come to the theory of Akil the MC. Akil the MC is a Muslim rapper living in Los Angeles, California. His resemblance to Tupac attracts the attention of Tupac fans. Akil's bandmates in the rap music group Jurassic 5 are as interesting as he is, because just like him, looking like Tupac, his friend and group member Shali looks like Yaki Gaddafi, who was a close friend to Tupac and got killed 2 months after Tupac's death. Wait, it's not over yet. The person nicknamed Soup, who is in the group, also looks like the famous rapper, the Notorious Big. The chain of coincidences doesn't end there either. The person nicknamed Mark 7 in the band looks like Hussein Fatal.
David Bowie, Jack Stephen.
Immediately after his death, a man named Jack Stephen appeared on the Sky News channel to announce Bowie's death and looked very similar to David Bowie. To his fans, he was just identical of David Bowie. Viewers immediately noticed that Stephen had an extraordinary resemblance to Bowie, suggesting that this was actually Bowie in disguise.
Jack, Fortress music and worked as a music
influence he is, I think, to me. Of the 26 albums I've made, I think, and to thousands and millions of people around the world, I think there were 2 when I really wasn't involved. And strangely, I was surprised. I sort of lived through JonBenét's days.
That's what I've been used to.
Because I think him,
well, if you must know, your sister ran away.
And then I got to
Fortress music. Do beg your pardon, Jack. Fortress.
And the 3 of them, it was my birthday coming up. They clubbed together and they got me an old 1955 Mercedes, it was rusted.
Was Jack Stephen the last character played by David Bowie? The fact that there is not much of an information about Jack Stephen on the internet strengthens this claim. Because it's funny that Jack, who introduces himself as a music industry executive, is not known by anyone. When we examine an old video of a person named Jack Stephen uploaded to the internet, we can see that he is completely different from the Jack who joined the Sky News channel. This is exactly the same as Michael Jackson's Dave thing. After his own death, Michael Jackson appeared on CNN Live in 2009 disguised as Dave. Just like Michael used Dave's name, David Bowie used Jack Stevens' name on a show. We can also see that David Bowie was inspired by the fake death of Michael Jackson. Another case is Opossum Inc., a company that Bowie left money in his will and a company which has no publicly available information anywhere. The company has zero public disclosure, it does not trade stocks in any market, and no information about it can be found. So what's interesting about this? You will ask. Opossum, the name of the company, is an animal name. A small marsupial animal tends to pretend to be dead when it doesn't want to deal with a situation it encounters. A company named after an animal that pretends to be dead when approached. Isn't that strange? It's strange and funny. I'm sure David is laughing at us. Another clue is the clip called Lazarus, which Bowie released shortly before his death. Bowie portrays an aging, frail man with bandaged eyes. According to the New Testament, Lazarus died and was resurrected by Christ 4 days later. Fans suggested it was Bowie's way of hinting that he would be back. Maybe Jack Stephen was the return of Bowie. Do you think Jack Stephen could be David Bowie? Could it be that David Bowie faked his death to stay a legend in people's minds and live the rest of his life as a normal person? Do you believe that he's alive? Maybe he wanted to finish his acting career with the Jack Stephen character.
Michael Jackson, Dave. One of the most talked about theories is the claim that Michael Jackson never died and once appeared on live broadcast under the identity of Dave, a man he had supported, who suffered severe burns in a childhood accident. This theory is full of strange coincidences, voice similarities, and public appearances that have raised many eyebrows. But instead of squeezing it into this video, I highly recommend checking out my dedicated videos on this topic, where I explore all the details, interviews, and comparisons in depth. You can find those videos right here on my channel. Believe me, they're worth watching if you're into Michael Jackson theories.